Shalom, shalom, everyone. This is ZACHARIAH Israel with another edition of the Nation of Yehudah School of Knowledge Sabbath class. We're glad that you decided to share this day with us, that you came to study with us so that we can learn from each other. And last week this week and last week we were on the kingdom, the 1,000-year reign. We talked about the Melchizedek priesthood. We went over that. And now we're going to go into the mortal priesthood. But there's a few things that I'd like to go back over again from last week. We were talking about the redemption. And when we went in those scriptures, we went into Revelation Chapter 12. And I wanted to read those really quickly again so that I can kind of flow into the mortal priesthood, because a lot of people are having trouble separating the two. And I wanted to say again, to reiterate again, that the immortal priesthood after the order of Melchizedek is really the administrative cabinet of the 1,000-year reign, of the Messiah's 1,000-year reign. It's the 1/3 that's mentioned in Revelation chapter 12. So we're going to go to Revelation chapter 12 to kind of lay the baseline. And it goes as follows. It says, Revelation 12:1, and there appeared great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head. And his tail drew the 3rd part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. And she brought forth a man-child, who was to rule all nations, with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up unto Yah and to his throne. Now, this is going to deal with that 1/3, because we went over that 1/3. It is in a lot of the videos that we have out here and a lot of the teaching. So I wanted to share that with you about the 1/3. In Zechariah chapter 13, it deals with the 1/3 and the 2/3 being cut off. So we're going to go over Zechariah 13:1. It says, in that day there shall be a fountain open to the house of David and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem for sin and for uncleanness. And it shall come to pass that in that day, saith the Most High of hosts, that I will cut off the names of the idols out of the land, and they shall no more be remembered. And also I will cause the prophets and the unclean spirits to pass out of the land. So there's not going to be any prophets and any unclean spirits. It's going to be a wonderful kingdom of peace. Watch. And it shall come to pass that when any shall yet prophesy, then his father and his mother that begot him shall say unto him, Thou shalt not live. Now this particular scripture is very important, because it says unto us that there's children going to be born. And in order for your father and mother begot you, you have to be born. So there's going to be mortals and there's going to be immortals. Watch what it says. For thou speakest lies in the name of the Most High, and his father and his mother that begot him shall thrust him through when he prophesieth. Please minimize the noise. And it shall pass in that day that the prophet shall be ashamed every one of his visions when he hath prophesied, neither shall they wear a rough garment to deceive. So there's no way, you're not going to be able to fool anyone. Watch, but he shall say, I am no prophet, I am a husbandman. For man taught me to keep cattle from my youth. So there is not going to be any room for any false prophets, any deceiving, I heard the Lord say. And we see so much of that on YouTube. I ran across so many YouTube clips this morning. I died and the Lord told me about the rapture. I died and the Lord told me I went to heaven and seen heaven. And you just be like, yeah, okay, all right. And one shall say unto him, what are these wounds in thy hand? Then he shall answer, those with which I was wounded in the house of my friends. He said, awake, O sword, against my shepherds, and against the man that is my fellow, saith the Most High of hosts. Smite the shepherd, and the sheep shall be scattered. And I will turn my hand upon the little ones. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Most High, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. This is where we talk about that 1/3 that's going to make it. And this is important because this is now. This is the redemption of the house of Israel. This is the redemption of the 1/3. 2/3 is going to be cut off and die. And there's only going to be 1/3 left. Now, this has nothing to do with the population of the kingdom that's yet to come. Because these people have to be born again in order to really come through and understand what this thing is all about. Hold on. And I will bring the 3rd part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Most High is my Elohim. Any questions at all whatsoever? Anybody have any questions about what we just showed? Because last week we had an issue with the whole, the immortal part of the priesthood. So I just wanted to be able to share that with you so we could kind of have that on point and understand what that is. Anybody confused about anything? Nobody? I'm shocked. I'm happy. I'm really happy. Okay, so let's keep going. We're going to keep on going. We're going to resume this mic. Okay, now we're going to deal with the children of Israel. We're going into the priesthood. Isaiah 43 says, I am the Most High, your Holy One, the Creator of Israel, your King. Isaiah 43:15. Thus saith the Most High, which maketh a way in the sea, and a path in the mighty waters, which bringeth forth the chariots and horses, and the army and the power. They shall lie down together, they shall not rise. They are extinct, they are quenched as tow. Remember ye not the former things, neither consider the things of old. Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall ye not know it? I will even make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. The beasts of the field shall honor me, the dragons in the isles, because I give water in the wilderness and rivers in the desert to give drink to my people, my chosen. This people have I formed for myself, they shall show forth my praise. Example, we have an example. When you talk about the British, I don't really want to get into this right now. Let me go to this. Here we go. Now we're going to get into the temple. This is where we're going to bring in the mortal priesthood. This is where the mortal priesthood is coming in at. Because there's going to be a temple that we're going to be required to build in the kingdom that he's going to bring upon the earth. Ezekiel Chapter 43. It says, afterwards he brought me to the gate, even the gate that looketh toward the east. And behold, the glory of the Elohim of Israel came from the way of the east. And his voice was like the noise of many waters, and the earth shined with his glory. And it was according to the appearance of the vision which I saw, even according to the vision that I saw when I came to destroy the city. And the visions were like the visions that I saw by the river Shabar, and I fell upon my face. And the glory of the Most High came into the house by the way of the gate, whose prospect is toward the east. So the Spirit took me up and brought me into the inner court, and behold, the glory of the Most High filled the house. And I heard him speaking unto me out of the house, and the man stood by me. And he said unto me, Son of man, the place of my throne, and the place of the soles of my feet, where I will dwell in the midst of the children of Israel forever, and my holy name shall the house of Israel no more defile, neither they, nor their kings, by their whoredom, nor by the caucuses of their kings in their high places. In their settings of their thresholds, by my thresholds, and their posts by my posts, and all the walls between me and them. They have even defiled my holy name by their abominations that they have committed, wherefore I have consumed them in mine anger. Now let them put away their whoredom and the caucuses of their kings far from me, and I will dwell in the midst of them forever. Thou son of man, show the house to the house of Israel, that they may be ashamed of their iniquities, and let them measure the pattern. And if they be ashamed of all that they have done, show them the form of the house, and the fashion thereof, and the goings out thereof, and the comings in thereof, and all the forms thereof, and all the ordinances thereof, and all the forms thereof, and all the laws thereof, and write it in their sight, that they may keep the whole form thereof, and all the ordinance thereof, and do them. This is the law of the house. Upon the top of the mountain, the whole limit thereof round about shall be most holy. Behold, this is the law of the house. And these are the measures of the altar after the cubits. The cubit is a cubit, and the hand breadth. Even the bottom shall be a cubit, and the breadth a cubit, and the borders thereof by the edge thereof round about shall be a span. And this shall be the higher place of the altar. And from the bottom upon the ground, even to the lower settle, shall be 2 cubits, and the breadth 1 cubit, and from the lesser settle, even to the greater settle, shall be 4 cubits, and the breadth 1 cubit. So the altar shall be 4 cubits, and from the altar and upward shall be 4 horns. And the altar shall be 12 cubits long, 12 broad, square in 4 squares thereof. And the settle shall be 14 cubits long and 14 broad in the 4 squares thereof, and the border about it shall be half a cubit. And the bottom thereof shall be a cubit about, and his stairs shall look toward the east. And he said unto me, Son of man, thus saith the Most High Elohim, these are the ordinances of the altar in the day when they shall make it to offer burnt offerings thereon, and to sprinkle blood thereon. Now let me ask the question. Who is the ones that take care of the altar? What tribe is it that takes care of the altar?
Levi.
The Levites.
Tribes. So now he's talking about his kingdom. He's giving order to this tribe to make these altars. Watch what he says. And thou shalt give to the priests the Levites that be of the seed of Zadok, which approach unto me to minister unto me, saith the Most High Elohim, a young bullock for a sin offering. You mean it's going to be sin there? Well, that doesn't sound right. If it's supposed to be 1,000 years of peace, and Lucifer is bound up for 1,000 years, and the Melchizedek priesthood is going to be immortal, then who is it that's going to commit sin?
The other nations.
Oh, you think it's the other nations? That's one. That's true. That's one. The other. Who else?
The people who died and didn't know that they were Israelites.
Oh, the people, the children, our family members who died and didn't know they were Israel. Let's see what it says. So some of the Levites are going to be there to offer a young bullock for a sin offering. Watch. Thou shalt take the blood thereof and put it on the four horns of it, and on the four corners of the settle, and upon the border round about. Thus shalt thou cleanse and purge it. Thou shalt take the bullock also of the sin offering, and he shall burn it in the appointed place of the house without the sanctuary. And on the second day thou shalt offer a kid of the goats without blemish for a sin offering. And they shall cleanse the altar as they did cleanse it with the bullock. When thou hast made an end of cleansing it, thou shalt offer a young bullock without blemish, and a ram out of the flock without blemish. And thou shalt offer them before the Most High, and the priest shall cast salt upon them, and shall offer them up for a burnt offering unto the Most High. 7 days shalt thou prepare every day a goat for a sin offering. They shall also prepare a young bullock and a ram out of the flock without blemish. 7 days shall they purge the altar and purify it, and they shall consecrate themselves. And when these days are expired, it shall be that upon the 8th day and so forward, the priest shall make your burnt offerings upon the altar and your peace offerings, and I will accept you, saith the Most High Elohim. Any questions? Here's when we get into the mortal part of it all. Watch what happens. Yes, ma'am.
So the Messiah is going to be the one that's in the land. So we're going to go back to the sacrifices.
Your phone is echoing a lot. Let me see. Say it again. I had a hard time hearing you.
So when the Messiah is in reign, we're going to go back then to the sacrifices?
Yes, ma'am. And I'm getting to that. Yes, ma'am. We're going right back to the sacrifices. And that is an excellent question. Why, if somebody explain, why do we need to go back to the sacrifices if the Messiah is reigning in his kingdom? What is the purpose of it? Somebody?
I think it would be for those who are born into that kingdom during that time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because there's going to be two populations of people. You're going to have the mortals and you're going to have the immortals. The immortals don't have to go through that again. But the ones that are reborn again, and I'm on my way to that too today, sis, the ones that are born again into the kingdom, like your grandma and your grandpa and your aunts and your uncles and your cousins who died and never knew they were Israel, will be able to come back again. But in order for them to come back, they have to learn the laws. And in order for them to learn the laws, they have to have the Levi tribe there to help them with the sacrifices. Because what is the definition of sin? Somebody tell her.
Transgressor of the law.
That's absolutely. Sin is the transgression of the law. So in order for them to break the law, the Levites have to be there to give an atonement for what they do.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, I asked a lot of questions.
That's
But,
all right.
so what about, like for an example, like Israelite homes, like the people that know of it and then let like their family know and they have an idea that they're an Israelite but then didn't follow it. What would happen to them?
To who now? Say that again. Say it slow. What did you say?
So, say for an example, like I know I'm an Israelite, but then I tell everyone in my household, like I'm teaching them the ways, like you're an Israelite, these are the 10 Commandments and so on, and they don't listen and don't follow. What would happen to them?
Those are the ones who will come back.
Oh, so there also would be part of the 2/3 then.
No. What we're living right now is for to redeem the 1/3. We're talking about us, the ones that are woke right now, the ones who will understand who we are, the ones who are going through this process right now. This is for the house of Israel. If you make the cut and you make it into the 1/3, the 2/3 will be cut off and they'll die. They won't come back again. This is for the people who never knew. This is for the people who never understood. This is for the people who weren't woke that you tried to tell that they needed to wake up.
Oh, okay. So these are for the, yeah, so, sorry. So like for our family members, for our family members that we were to tell and they didn't follow and we told them they were Israelites and that they were Israelites but they didn't follow, they would be reborn again?
I'm on my way there. Just hold on.
Okay.
Just hold on to your seat. I promise you I'm on my way there. All right?
Okay.
Watch this. Here we go. The mortal priesthood. Watch. Ezekiel Chapter 44. Watch what he says. He says, "Then he brought me back the way of the gate of the outward sanctuary, which looketh toward the east, and it was shut. Then said the Most High unto me, This gate shall be shut. It shall not be opened, and no man shall enter in by it, because the Most High, the Elohim of Israel, hath entered in by it, that therefore it shall be shut. It is for the prince. The prince, he shall sit in it to eat bread before the Most High. He shall enter by the way of the porch of that gate, and shall go out by the way of the same." Watch. "Then brought he me the way of the north gate before the house, and I looked, and behold, the glory of the Most High filled the house of the Most High, and I fell upon my face. And the Most High said unto me, Son of man, mark well, and behold with thine eyes, and hear with thine ears all that I say unto thee concerning all the ordinances of the house of the Most High, and all the laws, and mark well the entering in of the houses of the house with every going forth of the sanctuary. And thou shalt say to the rebellious, even to the house of Israel, Thus saith the Most High Elohim, O ye house of Israel, let it suffice you of all your abominations, in that ye have brought into my sanctuary strangers, uncircumcised in heart and uncircumcised in flesh, to be in my sanctuary to pollute it." So that means the law of circumcision has to be there. Watch. "Even my house, when ye offer my bread and fat and blood, and they have broken my covenant because of all your abominations. And ye have not kept the charge of my holy things, but ye have set keepers of my charge in my sanctuary for yourself." In other words, you have appointed people to do the job I told you to do, and these people were strangers. They were uncircumcised in their heart, and they were uncircumcised in the flesh. Now, in order for you to be uncircumcised in the flesh, you have to be male. Watch what he says. Thus saith the Most High Elohim, no stranger, uncircumcised in heart, nor uncircumcised in flesh, shall enter into my sanctuary, of any stranger that is among the children of Israel. And the Levites that are gone away far from me, when Israel went astray, which went astray away from me after their idols, they shall even bear their iniquity. Yet they shall be ministers in my sanctuary, having charge at the gates of the house, and ministering to the house. They shall slay the burnt offering, and the sacrifice for the people, and they shall stand before them to minister unto them, because they minister unto them before their idols, and cause the house of Israel to fall into iniquity. Therefore have I lifted up mine hand against them, saith the Most High Elohim, and they shall bear their iniquity. And they shall not come near unto me to do the office of a priest unto me, nor to come near to any of my holy things in the most holy place. But they shall bear their shame and their abominations which they have committed. But I will make them keepers of the charge of the house, for all the service thereof, and for all that shall be done therein. But the priests, the Levites, the sons of Zadok, that kept the charge of my sanctuary when the children of Israel went astray from me, they shall come near to me to minister unto me, and they shall stand before me to offer unto me the fat, the blood, saith the Most High Elohim. Then they shall enter into my sanctuary, and they shall come near to my table to minister unto me, and they shall keep my charge. And it shall come to pass that when they enter in at the gate of the inner court, they shall be clothed with linen garments, and no wool shall come upon them while they minister in the gates of the inner court and within. They shall have linen bonnets upon their heads, and they shall have linen breeches upon their loins. They shall not gird themselves with anything that causes sweat. And when they go forth into the utter court, even into the utter court to the people, they shall put off their garments wherein they ministered, and lay them in the holy chambers, and they shall put on other garments, and they shall not sanctify the people with their garments. Neither shall they shave their heads, nor suffer their locks to grow long. They shall only poll their heads. Neither shall any priest drink wine when they enter into the inner court. Neither shall they take for their wives a widow, nor her that is put away. But they shall take maidens of the seed of the house of Israel, or a widow that had a priest before. Now, if they can take wives, then that means that they can do what? They can have children, right?
Oh, yeah.
Remember when I read to you, I think it was in Matthew chapter 22, about the woman and the 7 husbands, and each one of them had her, and the disciples was asking, well, which wife is she going to be? And remember what he told them? He said she will be nobody's wife, because in the resurrection, in the regeneration, there is no marriage or giving in marriage, because they shall be as the angels. Those are the immortals. But these are the mortals, because they can get married and have a family. You see the difference between the two?
Oh, yeah.
Do you understand the difference between the two priesthoods now? One's mortal, One's immortal. One's allowed to be married. The other ones will be as the angels. Ones will have children. There will be no procreation for the others. One will take care of the temple. The others will run the administration of the government. It's real simple. Any questions? Watch, here we go. And they shall teach my people the difference between the holy and profane, and cause them to discern between the unclean and the clean. So the Levites will do the same thing they did back in the days of old. They will show them, you do this, you don't do this. This is how he wants this done. This is what you are not supposed to do. Watch. And in controversy they shall stand in judgment, and they shall judge it according to my judgment. And they shall keep my laws and my statutes and all mine assemblies, and they shall hallow my Sabbaths. And they shall come at no dead person to defile themselves. Oh, so that means people gonna die? So that means that in his kingdom, if people are going to die, then that means they are mortals. Anybody have any questions on this? But for father, or for mother, or for son, or for daughter, or for brother, or for sister that have no husband, they may defile themselves. So if nobody to identify them, then they can go in and do what they need to do for the body. But in order for you to die, you got to be mortal. Yes, ma'am.
All right, so during the 1,000-year reign, when they die, will they be able to be regenerated?
There won't be any need for it anymore. Once you go, this is it. After this 1,000-year reign, the only thing that happens next is the white throne of judgment. Nothing else will be regenerated again. He's the last kingdom that's going to be on the earth. After that, it's going to be the white throne of judgment, and then the city is going to come down, and the Father is going to take over after that. So this is the last kingdom on the earth that will have mortals in the kingdom. This is it.
All crazy.
Yeah, I'm following you, but one thing, so you know how it says it's appointed once for man to die. So if our ancestors died back in the day when they didn't know they were Israel, and then say they're born back into this, do they go to judgment without death again, or who's dying if they were reborn in?
Well, that's a whole nother issue. I've dealt with that issue because Paul said that. That came from Brother Paul said that.
Oh.
So, it says to be absent in the body is to be present with the Lord and all that. I'm going to touch on that too in just a moment. And all this pointed, I believe it's appointed once for you to die and you know who you are. But then I can't even say that either because the spirits are constantly regenerating themselves, and I'm going to show you that in Scripture too.
Okay.
I'm going to cover all that today. I'm going to cover that today. And that confuses a lot of people. It really does.
So if you're part of the elect, the 1/3, you're not married.
No, there's no need. And I'll get that scripture for you, where they talk about that. The disciples asked him in Matthew. They said, say for instance, there was a man and a wife, and the man dies, and they had no children. And then he said that, and then the custom was, if I were to marry you and you passed away, your brother would have to marry me, and then we would give birth to a child to keep your name in the earth. That was the custom. So he said, say there were 7 brothers. The one died, and then the rest of them had her, and all of them died, and there was no children born with any of them. Whose wife would she be in the resurrection? And Christ said, once you make it through and you're resurrected from there, there's no need for marriage, because you will be as the angels. So there's no marriage once you make it through the resurrection. That's why it's important that this time that we have right here, and we know who we are, and we know what we're supposed to do, we need to be about doing it. Because this is our time to get this right. People who don't keep the Sabbath, they don't want to be bothered with the high holy days. These are simple things that he asks of us to do. And we don't do it. Because a lot of people feel like, well, I'm just going to skate my way through. No, this is our time to get this right, and he's given us an opportunity to get it right.
And so basically they'll be the one that's running the government, you're saying?
Absolutely, yes, sir.
And then they automatically bypass the second death, which the others got to go through.
There you go. He said the second death. He said, blessed is he that takes place in the first resurrection, where the second death have no power.
Okay.
I'm so glad you brought that up. That was excellent. Yes, it was. I'm glad we putting this on tape. I really am. So here we have people now in the kingdom. Watch what he says. Watch. He said, and after he is cleansed, they shall reckon unto him 7 days. And in the day that he goeth into the sanctuary, into the inner court, to minister in the sanctuary, he shall offer his sin offering, saith the Most High Elohim. And it shall be unto them for an inheritance. I am their inheritance, and ye shall give them no possession in Israel. I am their possession. They shall eat the meat offering and the sin offering and the trespass offering, and every dedicated thing in Israel shall be theirs. And the first of all, the first fruit of all things, and every oblation of all, and of every sort of your oblation shall be the priest. Ye shall also give unto the priest the first of your dough, that he may cause the blessing to rest in thine house. And the priest shall not eat of anything that is dead of itself, nor torn, whether it be fowl or beast. So the animal's going to die. Watch. Any questions about that? I think your guys' questions have been excellent.
But if we look back, sorry.
Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but if we look back when he had created Adam and Eve, he created them was to live forever. But he forewarned them that any day they touch that tree, they should surely die.
Absolutely. This is the greatest story that has ever been told. It really is. Now let's get into regeneration, because a lot of you have never heard of this before, so this is going to really be fun. Here we go. Ecclesiastics Chapter 1, verse 9. The thing that has been, it is that which shall be. And that which is done is that which shall be done. There is no new thing under the sun. Somebody tell me what that means.
That's really things that are happening today. They happened way back before. And they're still...
Absolutely. There's nothing new. Nothing is new. Nothing. Everything that we're experiencing, this so-called new technology, none of it is new. Watch what he says. Is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new. It has been already of old times, which was before us. So the cell phone been here before, 5G been here before, the cars and stuff has been here before, the airplanes and stuff has been here before. And there is nothing new under the sun. You are not even new. Nothing new. Watch what it says. Here we go. There is no remembrance of former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come after. Oh, who are those that shall come after? And if you can't remember something, then you have to have a brain in order to remember.
Yep.
Anybody confused on that? Anybody confused on that? Let's go. Let's see what that thing is that there's no remembrance. Ecclesiastics Chapter 6. That which has been is named already. It is known that is man. Neither may he contend with him that is mightier than him. So man has continually replenished itself, regenerated, come back constantly. Over, I don't know how many times. I ain't going to say over and over because I don't know, but I know they've come back at least once. I can say that. Man has been here before. That's where you get the deja vu from. The Bible said you won't remember. You can't. But because the brain is the way that it is set up and it is firing off of cylinders, you get little fragments of memories. Like, I've been here before. I've had the same conversation with someone before. Anybody gone through deja vu? And sometimes it just stops you dead in your track and you like, whoa. Woo, I done said this before already. And all this whole scene, I've done this before. Watch what he says. Watch. John chapter 9. Watch that. Watch this. Verse 1. And as Yahushua passed by, he saw a man which was blind from his birth. Now, this man was blind at birth. Now watch what he said. Watch. And his disciples asked him, saying, Master, who did sin? This man or his parents, that he was born blind? Now, how could the man sin if he was blind from birth?
It was a sin that he carried over.
Say that again?
It was a sin that he carried over from his past life.
Oh, really? She said it was a sin that carried over from his life before. Oh, y'all missed that. Let me go back. See, when they get quiet, I know I got to do it again. John chapter 9, verse 1. And as Yahushua passed by, he saw a man which was blind from his birth. Watch what he asked. And his disciples asked him, saying, Master, who did sin? This man or his parents, that he was born blind? So if that's the case, is what you just said, that means that some of the things that you did in the life that you lived before can follow you into the regeneration when you come back again. Everybody, y'all still with me?
Yes, we are.
Watch what he says. Watch what he says. And Yahushua answered, Neither have this man sinned, nor his parents, but that the works of Yah should be made manifest in him. Some of the stuff come back on you because of the life you lived in the past life, the regenerated life. Some of the sickness that we have endured, and not everybody, I'm not saying everybody, but some of the sickness that we have endured is because of the life that we lived before. And some of it is because of the life we live in now. Anybody got any questions? Oh, y'all done got quiet on me today. Let's go to Matthew chapter 16, verse 13. It says, when Yahushua came into the coast of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, saying, whom do men say that I, the Son of Man, am? Watch what they said. And they said, some say that thou art John the Baptist, some Elias, and others Jeremiah or one of the prophets. Why would they compare Christ to the people that were already dead? Elias was dead already, Jeremiah was dead already, and one of the prophets was dead already. Because they knew the regeneration. If this is something that Israel knew as a people, that the Spirit comes back to the earth. There's no new thing under the sun. There's nothing that you can say, see, this is new. It comes back. I don't know how many times. I don't know what kind of life you lived in the other life. I don't know how to explain it, but that explains deja vu. Anybody have a question?
So, if you have a married couple today that's, if both of them, say if they're the elect, so it would be no, so when they cross over, they basically, they separate.
I'm married couples that are part of the elect. Well, you mean, do they start their life all over again? I think so, yes. Separate from each other, yes. Now, do you meet her again? I can't say that. I don't know.
But they start their life over again, though.
Yes, there's no new thing under the sun, absolutely.
Got it.
It is the ministry of regeneration. The spirits are regenerated. I don't know how they're picked. I don't know how many times it happens. I don't know that part because nobody knows that part.
So where did we lose this? If our ancestors and those in this passage knew about regeneration, at what point did we lose it where it's not talked about anymore?
When we went into when we ran out of Israel into Africa, when we ran from when we left our natural habitat and ran from Rome into Africa, and we ended up there for however long we were there, and then we were transported from there all over the world, and the information was lost. I mean, and that's easy to do because, you know, when I think about my grandmother, I know my grandmother, but I didn't know her mother, and I didn't know her mother's mother. I know their names, but I don't know anything that was passed down from them because it got lost somewhere.
All right, because I remember my mother saying when a baby came into the world, she would say for some of them, looks like, I think that one has been here before. So it's kind of like they had a knowledge that wasn't really taught.
Right. And it was something that we knew as a people that was normal for us to know because it's in the scriptures. It's plain and simple right here in the scriptures. That's why when Nicodemus when he snuck that night and went to Christ, he said, explain this born again stuff. I don't get it. He was like, can a man enter into his mother's womb and be born a second time? Make this make sense. And Christ, he came at him. He said, you mean to tell me you a teacher of Israel and you don't know this? And I believe these are some of the secret things that have been hid in plain sight that he's now revealing unto us that we may know. Because it explains deja vu. This is some deep stuff. When you get into this, you just sit back and rub your head like, wow.
Shalom.
Yes, ma'am.
Question that I'm trying to put the pieces together for. David, we know he slept with his father and is buried in the city of David. When is he going to be regenerated again? I mean, to lead us out, or is he going to be in the 1,000-year reign, or is he going to be there at all?
Who now? Say that one more time.
David, King David.
Dawid is coming back.
Okay, so is he going to be in the 1,000-year, or is he going to be during this time period, or when is it?
Dawid will be in the 1,000-year reign. He will be back. Yes. Absolutely. Yes, and I'll get into. I didn't put him in this lesson, but I'm gonna have a separate section for him next week where I'll explain his whole process in the kingdom.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get to. Thank you.
No problem. Now we're gonna talk about
Can
the
you get over
12.
Daniel too?
Say that again.
Can you bring that topic up with Daniel too when you get there?
Daniel, yes, sir. I sure will.
What is his role, and and how that works? Whatever. Because you said a while back that Daniel will have to bring the message or whatever, something like that.
You know what? I'm glad you brought that up. I'll definitely look into that next week. I will. Now let's talk about the 12 that shall return. Oh, 2nd Ezra chapter 1. 2nd Ezra is in the Apocrypha. Watch it with verse 32. It said, I sent unto you my servants, the prophets, whom ye have taken and slain, and torn their bodies in pieces, whose blood I will require of your hand, saith the Most High. Thus saith the Almighty Elohim, your house is desolate. I will cast you out as the wind doeth stubble, and your children shall not be fruitful, for they have despised my commandment and done things that is an evil before me. Your house will I give to a people that shall come, which not having heard of me yet shall believe me, to whom I have showed no sign, yet they shall do that I have commanded them. I believe that's us. Watch what because he's talking to our family members of old. They have seen no prophets, yet they shall cast their sins to remembrance and acknowledge them. I take to witness the grace of the people to come, whose little ones rejoice in gladness, and though they have not seen me with bodily eyes, yet in spirit they believe the thing that I say. Watch what he says. And now, brother, behold what glory, and see the people that come from the east, unto whom I will give for leaders. The leaders are coming. Watch who's coming. Abraham is coming. Isaac is coming. Jacob is coming. Hosea, which is Jose, is coming. Amos is coming. Micaiah, which is Micah, is coming. Joel is coming. Obadiah, which is Obadiah, and Jonas is coming. Nahum, Habakkuk, which is Habakkuk. Sophoniah, which is Zephaniah. Aggeus, which is Haggai. Zachariah, with Zachary, which is Zachariah. And Malachi, which is Malachi, which is called also an angel of the Most High. So the Most High is going to send them to us as leaders. They all coming back. They all will be regenerated again, and they're all coming back as leaders for us. Any questions?
Yes. Do you think these 12 that are coming back would be the same ones that's going to lead us into the wilderness? Or that's a different set of angels?
I wish I could answer that. I believe so, sis. I believe they're going to be with us all the way through, because once they come back, those 12 won't have to be born. Those won't be human. They won't be human. They all coming back. This is the lesson of regeneration. This is something that we knew. So there's no new thing under the sun. Nobody's new. Nothing that we have done in our lifetime is new. We've already lived it out already. We've done it already. Yes, ma'am, sis. Go ahead.
I keep asking questions, but so each of the prophets that are being regenerated, are they each from a different tribe?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. But then again, I mean, when I think about it, if I really give it some thought, yeah, they would. I guess they are. I mean, I have to think about that, because most of those, we're going to have to see what tribe. I'll check that out next week. That's a real good question, too. I'm definitely going to check that out. It has to be. Yeah, I believe they are. Yeah, to represent the 12 tribes of Israel. Absolutely.
Now, when they come back, do you think they're going to know who they are and what their task is, or do you think they're going to come back and fulfill those people who you just named? Are they going to have any knowledge of it?
I think Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob going to know who they are. Those are the patriarchs. I know they going to know who they are. They ain't going to walk around not knowing who they are, because the promise was given to them. So I think they will know, because they're not going to be mortal. The ones that don't have any remembrance of who they are, the ones that live a life over again. The ones that have remembrance is the ones who live a mortal life over again. Those are the ones that have deja vu. I believe they'll know who they are, but I mean, I can't. I'm not an expert at this. I'm just learning like you are. I don't know. You guys is asking some real good questions. But I believe they will know, because they've already gone through the horrible death. And those were the prophets that we had. But I mean, I don't know. I believe they will. Especially Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Those are the patriarchs. That's where the covenant was made to. That's where the promises was made. They have to come back and see the promise fulfilled. They're coming back to see the promise that y'all gave them, that your children are going to inherit a land that I promised I was going to give to them, and I'm going to make sure you see it happen, because Abraham didn't see it happen. Isaac didn't see it happen. Jacob didn't even see it happen. So he's going to verify, I told you I was going to do it, and I'm going to let you see it. Now, I'm trying not to shout, don't you? Because I really want to run through this house.
Yeah, because he's telling the rest for a surety.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's why I'm trying not to shout, because I sure want to get up and cut a step. I'm telling you, because this is some heavy stuff right here. He's going to confirm with them, I told you I was going to do it, and watch him walk in there, because I promised you I was going to give it to him.
And if you remember, when when Yeshua said that the prophet Elijah had already come, when he was talking about John the Baptist.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's why it makes me wonder if they actually know who they are when they get here, and if they realize that there's a task that they're fulfilling, when they don't, whether they know or not, whether they're fulfilling that task based on who they are.
You know what? I believe this. If they don't know, when our feet touch Zion, the Most High gonna bring it to their remembrance. Remember, I told you I was gonna do this. I mean, I'm just when our feet touch Zion, we on our way home. 'Cause he can't lie. He's an Elohim that cannot lie. Woo! My goodness, gracious and mercy, Lord.
It seems at the same time the Messiah is, constantly asking, "Who is it that you think that I am?"
He said, "No, who do men say that I am?" And then he said, "Who do you say that I am?" And then they say, "Thou art the Christ, the Son of the living Elohim." But when he was talking about men, he was talking about Israel. Who is the Israelites saying I am? They said, some say you John the Baptist. Some say you Elias. Others say you Jeremiah or one of the prophets. Because they knew about the regeneration. They knew about it.
But did he know who they thought that, what they say?
I'm confused. Say that again.
Did he know whom he was? He knew who he was. He wanted to see what they knew who he was.
Absolutely. He wanted to know that they
So
knew.
he's aware of, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he knew who he
And
was.
that's probably why, and that's why he said flesh and blood have not revealed this to you.
That's right.
Because there's no way they could have known it unless that supernatural spirit intervened. Yeah, gotcha.
Absolutely. There's some powerful stuff right here, you guys. This is some powerful stuff right here. So you'll have a immortal priesthood that's going to be ambassadors that's going to run the government, and then you're going to have a mortal priesthood that's going to deal with the regeneration of Israel coming back so that they can explain the laws, statutes, and the commandments, and they can follow through like they're supposed to. Absolutely.
Hello?
Yes,
The Messiah has been here before as Melchizedek. Each time that he comes, was it him the first time, or was he regenerated?
It wasn't him. Who? The Messiah? That was Israel. That was Melchizedek. And Quiet is kept. Was Israel? That was Yahweh.
Right. So he was also that wrestled with Jacob. That was Israel too, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, Melchizedek was a man, right? Was he regenerated from another Israel? I don't know. Like, was that his? Yeah, he was here as a man, right? He's a man. Was he here before that? Was he regenerated to be Melchizedek?
No. Why was Melchizedek not a man? Somebody tell him in Hebrews what it said about Melchizedek. He had neither mother nor father, no beginning nor end. He was not human.
But he looked like a man to them, right? But he wasn't.
Exactly. Just like you're going to look like an ordinary woman to them in the kingdom, and you're not going to be.
Hallelujah. Can't wait. All right.
They're going to be like, it's something wrong. It's something about them people don't look normal. And they're going to be like, you tripping. There you go with that old supernatural stuff. Them people look just like you. They eat like you. They sleep. And you'll be like, no, it's something about them that just ain't right. Just like we say now when we run into certain people. It's like, no, I don't know. And the Bible tells you now, today, be careful of who you may be entertaining, because you may be entertaining angels unaware. How would you be unaware? Because they look like you. Because they act like you. Because they sound like you. Because they live among you. You're like, wow. And that's what you're going to be doing in the kingdom. You're going to sound like them. You're going to look like them. You're going to act like them. You're going to live among them. And you'll be like, something is wrong. That lady, and you're going to know you're not human too. Is this good or what?
Oh, yes, it is good.
Yeah, it is good because I think it lets us know that we have a higher purpose than we realize.
Absolutely. To make it this time. You ain't going to be able to slouch through this time and think you're going to be reborn again and come back again to make it the second time. Because you're going to have the same attitude you had this time. And everybody think I'll just do it next time. I ain't going to worry about it. It ain't no big deal. Yeah, just like that man's sin could have followed him from the life that he led before. Your attitude can follow you in the regeneration, and you still won't make a difference in your outcome.
You don't know what the master's will and do it not shall be flogged with many stripes.
Absolutely. And you have an opportunity now to do it, and do it right.
Oh, yeah.
Why wouldn't you take that opportunity now to do it right and make the cut? Because you know why? Whatever you are and whatever your personality is has followed you through the regeneration.
Hallelujah.
I stopped hunting people. I'm like, nope, you know what you got to do. If you don't do it, that's on you. I'm just not getting ready to do it. You got to, we done showed you and told you. That's all we allow. That's all we require to do. You know? You guys have asked some really good questions. And then we're going to go into the population again just real quick so that you know that there will be people formulated. And I hope that answers Sister Santiago's question when she said, how do you prove that it will be people of former times? You have to be able to go back to Ecclesiastics and walk them down the process of regeneration so that they understand that there's nothing new under the sun. Isaiah 65 and 17. He says, for behold, I create new heavens and a new earth, and the former shall not be remembered nor come into mind. And this is a good thing, too, to understand that no longer will we be eating any more GMO foods or genetically modified or hybrid fruits and animal spliced together. He's going to get rid of all that. It's going back to the earth that he created. He said, you ain't even going to remember. Watch. But be ye glad and rejoice forever in that which I create. For behold, I create Jerusalem a rejoicing, and her people a joy. And I will rejoice in Jerusalem, and joy in my people, and the voice of weeping shall be no more heard in her, nor the voice of crying. There shall be no more thence an infant of days, nor an old man that has not fulfilled his day. He ain't going to be no more of that. If you're supposed to get old, you're going to grow old. If that's what you're supposed to do, you're going to do it. Hallelujah. Praise the mighty Yah. For the child shall die 100 years old, but the sinner shall be 100 years, that being 100 years old shall be accursed. And they shall build houses and inhabit them, and they shall plant vineyards and eat the fruit of them. They shall not build and another inhabit. They shall not plant and another eat. For as the days of a tree are the days of my people, and mine elect shall long enjoy the works of their hands. They shall not labor in vain, nor bring forth for trouble. For they are the seed of the blessed of the Most High, and their offsprings with them. And it shall come to pass that before they call, I will answer, and while they are yet speaking, I will hear. And the wolf and the lamb shall feed together, and the lion shall eat straw like the bullock, and the dust shall be the serpent's meat. They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain, saith the Most High. Any questions about that one? All right, this will be our last one for tonight, Zechariah chapter 8, verse 1. It says, "And again the word of the Most High of Hosts came to me, saying, Thus saith the Most High of Hosts, I was jealous for Zion with great jealousy, and I was jealous for her with great fury. Thus saith the Most High of Hosts, I am returned unto Zion, and will dwell in the midst of Jerusalem, and Jerusalem shall be called a city of truth, and the mountain of the Most High of Hosts, the holy mountain. Thus saith the Most High of Hosts, there shall yet old men and old women dwell in the streets of Jerusalem, and every man with his staff in his hand for very age. And the streets of the city shall be full of boys and girls playing in the streets thereof. Thus saith the Most High of Hosts, if it be marvelous in the eyes of the remnant of this people in these days, should it also be marvelous in mine eyes, saith the Most High of Hosts? Thus saith the Most High of Hosts, behold, I will save my people from the east country and from the west country. And I will bring them, and they shall dwell in the midst of Jerusalem, and they shall be my people, and I will be their Elohim in truth and in righteousness. Thus saith the Most High of Hosts, let your hands be strong, ye that hear in these days these words by the mouth of the prophets, which were in the day that the foundation of the house of the Most High of Hosts was laid, that the temple might be built. For before these days there was no hire for man, nor any hire for beast, neither was there any peace to him that went out or came in. Because of the afflictions, for I set all men every one against his neighbor. But now I will not be unto the residue of this people as in the former days, saith the Most High of Hosts. For the seed shall be prosperous, the vine shall give her fruit, and the ground shall give her increase. And the heavens shall give their due, and I will cause the remnant of this people to possess all things. And it shall come to pass that as they were a curse among the heathen, O house of Yehudah and house of Israel, so will I save you, and ye shall be a blessing. Fear not, but let your hands be strong. For thus saith the Most High of Hosts, as I thought to punish you when your fathers provoked me to wrath, saith the Most High of Hosts, and I repented not, so again have I thought in these days to do well unto Jerusalem and to the house of Yehudah. Fear ye not. These are the things that ye shall do. Speak ye every man the truth to his neighbor. Execute the judgment of truth and peace in your gates. And let none of you imagine evil in your hearts against his neighbor, and love no false oaths. For all these things are that I hate, saith the Most High. And the word of the Most High of Hosts came unto me, saying, Thus saith the Most High of Hosts, the fast of the 4th month, the fast of the 5th month, the fast of the 7th month, and the fast of the 10th shall be to the house of Yehudah joy and gladness and cheerful feast. Therefore love truth and peace. Thus saith the Most High of Hosts, it shall yet come to pass that there shall come people and inhabitants of many cities. And the inhabitants of one city shall go to another, saying, Let us go up speedily to pray before the Most High, to seek the Most High of Hosts. I will go also. Yea, many people and strong nations shall come to seek the Most High of Hosts in Jerusalem, and to pray before the Most High of Hosts. Thus saith the Most High of Hosts, in those days it shall come to pass that 10 men shall take hold out of all languages of the nations, even shall take hold of the skirt of him that is a Jew, saying, We will go up with you, for we have heard that Yah is with you. So there's going to be other nations of different languages and different cities and different people. Any questions at all whatsoever? Did this clear up a lot of things for you? help you to better understand what exactly we're talking about. Let me cut off the recording